In the dark of night, shadows grow tall. Two men stand ready for the call. Jesse and John, eyes burning bright, ready to clash, no end in sight. Guns in their hands, hearts popping fear. Geocache guidelines drawing near. Buried treasure, secrets unknown. Only one leaves with the throne. Who knows the rules, who holds the key? Jesse and John, can't you see? A tool to the end, no turning back. The guidelines carved into the black. Who knows the rules, who holds the key? Jesse and John, oh can't you see? A tool to the end, no turning back. The guidelines carved into the black. Sweat on their brows, minds in a haze, searching for clues in this twisted maze. Whispers of legends echo round. One will fall to the ground. Fight for the honor, fight for the fame. Geocache Corey, the ultimate game. Eyes on the prize, ain't no retreat in this duel. Only one heart will beat. Jesse's punch is like a lightning fast, but John's wit and cunning won't be surpassed. Tracks and trails, the battleground set. One will lose forever in debt. Who knows the rules, who holds the key? Jesse and John, oh can't you see? A duel to the end, no turning back. The guidelines carved into the black.
All right, there we go.
That's the longest song ever. I was like,
Yeah.
the whole 7-minute song.
No, it was almost over. I cut it off a little bit early. But
It was pretty epic, though. I got to say that.
it was epic, man.
Yeah,
It was
it's not
awesome.
bad. Somebody's got to take that AI away from Gary, though. He's just
Come on,
releasing songs like every 5 minutes.
it was good stuff.
Oh man. Well, you know it's bad when you write Gary a messenger message over Facebook and he just responds with a custom song to you.
Exactly.
And he doesn't even give you any sort of text on that one.
And you're like, wait, what's the song mean? I'm not quite sure I understand. But no, this is the geo. This is the geo.
Right off the heels of us joking about the future of geocaching recently, which obviously labs are, but no, I don't get anybody mad. In case I didn't watch the show, that's not what we're talking about tonight. But all joking aside, AI will be part of geocaching. There's no doubt it's going to be.
Absolutely.
More and more. So we'll talk about that in an upcoming show. But I think there's no way to get away from it. Besides Gary making his songs up, there's no way to get away from it.
Yeah, no, definitely. The K-Blast give me a hard time. It doesn't know how to say geocache. So if you ever see anything, if you want the audio to sound right, you have to tell it geo-cache, CASH. Otherwise, it just does geocache, and that kind of ruins the moment.
Yeah,
so
that really takes the vibe away.
Yeah, better get the audio right. So
it's like Microsoft Word back in the day. If you were trying to get it to read things out loud, it would say something weird, and you'd have to spell them all weird. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining in. We've got I know Brad and Jen are coming back from
They had an event
Jen's
tonight.
birthday. Yeah.
Oh man, happy birthday, Jen.
Yeah, happy birthday. And thanks to everybody for being along. This will be a fun evening. We've got some news. Let's do that first, and then we'll get into the competition tonight. So quick note, Cosmic Quest still going on till the end of the month, September 1st. We're hoping to get our last souvenir on Cosmic Quest as soon as we give enough fuel to the aliens. I don't know why we're the ones having to do all the fuel. I think it's kind of I think we're getting ripped off on this deal, but
do you think HQ would let it not happen?
That's a good question.
Because there's no way, right? Like we get to 14,500,000, and they're like, "Sorry, it's over. You didn't earn the souvenir."
Over
Well,
so close.
and then you just see the aliens like homeless on Mars, and that's the last
1
graphic
gallon
we see
short.
of them.
That would be the
Yeah.
best promotion ever. Like it's just
Yeah.
like 4 green bodies laying on the ground. Sorry, guys, you killed them. You
Oh, we
loser.
did. Oh, Brad says we got it. So
Oh,
okay.
We did. Okay, cool.
I
No,
didn't
they got
even
their. That's the
Oh, they
100 one,
got
not the
theirs.
final one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was cool. Hopefully y'all. I think we all saw
We've
that.
all finished it, haven't we? Yeah.
We all got the International Geocaching
Oh
Day.
yeah.
I went back and I sent the note to you guys about. I went back through my souvenirs and I found the first one, which was 10 years ago. I found an International Geocaching Day 2014. I don't know what I don't know what the first one was. Somebody in the chat room could probably tell us, but at least 10 years worth, because I went back and found the first one. First international geocaching one I found was 2014. So,
How many have
That's
you
cool.
found since then?
oh gosh, pretty much most years I probably missed a couple. I mean, if I miss a year, I just miss a year. It's just the way.
Yeah.
So Hodag says it's probably been 2013. So,
Mm.
so that was, hopefully everybody got one for that. And then the last thing says big news coming. So can I go ahead and share that right now, guys? Is that okay, or no?
Yeah, we're
Oh.
ready for it. Go ahead. I don't care.
Oh, whoa! Where'd Gary go? Well, Jesse, I think we should share the big news about next week, since Gary's not here and that he won't be here next week. The big news for next week for everybody, and we're going to get out the word. It's going to be Jesse and I, in the style of Dear Abby. We want people to write to us, to ask us for advice, and to ask us all their questions. We'll be setting up a Google form, but send any of those in if you've ever wanted to
The
think
weirdest
about
question, and we'll take it.
yeah, like how would Jesse respond to this, or how would the Pizza Ninja respond to this? We're looking for
How
those.
many times has John done a throwdown? He has to be honest about it.
We'll wear polygraphs during that show too, and we'll have to answer.
Wouldn't that be fun? Like, have you ever claimed an Earth cache not on the day that you actually went to it, just so you can get a streak going or something?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to tune in to find
Or a
out.
puzzle. Oh yeah.
So that's the whole
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. The whole spiel was right that. So I'm glad y'all let me share that. Hopefully people are, we're gonna get excited about that whole thing. I mean, I appreciate you guys letting me spill the whole thing out. So
Brad, you're gonna have to submit that question for next week's show, and I will do my best calculation on that one to come up with an accurate figure.
Yeah.
there you go. There you go. Okay, there was a 2013. Well, I missed 2013, so for some reason, the Hodex is
Just go back and backdate a cache. It'll be all right.
That's okay. 2014. I was just glad to find one then. So, all right. So here we go. Guideline quiz tonight. I got my pen ready. Jesse and John are going to go head to head, and
So
we're going to
before
go
we
back.
start, John, when's the last time you actually dug into the guidelines? Outside of like one specific thing for a show.
I
just read them.
Oh man, it's been years. I got to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I fully admit it's been years.
And
that's terrible too.
Yeah, and probably the last time I legitimately read through quite a bit of them was probably when I was hiding a cache for the first time, like maybe like a mystery or a multi or something like that.
Something a
Being
little
like,
different.
okay, yeah. So
Well, this should be
been a
interesting
long
because
time.
a lot of things have changed. So
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. Again, the questions they'll come in different formats, so just stick with me as I. Oh, cool. There you go.
2011 then.
Nice.
8/18/2012.
So that was the second one. So I guess it started in 2011.
Well, of course you did, Ryan. Good grief, dude! You're a reviewer. You better be looking at the guidelines.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, we all should be, right, Jesse? We all should be.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to have we need to have a weekly random rules question.
Like a tidbit.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's like one little thing each week.
One little tidbit. All right, so we're gonna go. We'll go back and forth, and I'm gonna start with Jesse.
Oh dear.
On this first question.
It seems like a setup already.
I know. No, I'm just. So this first question has a very specific answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get your answer, and then I'm going to, if you get it right, it'll be awesome. If you don't get it exactly right, John's going to guess, and whoever's closer on this particular one will get the point. So here's the question.
No multiple choice, nothing. Oh man.
No multiple choice. No, there are some true falses. But don't worry, there's a lot of different. First one. Each contestant will get a chance on this one.
Okay.
So this is in the guidelines. We encourage you to find at least X number of geocaches before you hide your first one. This is actually in the guidelines. So
that's
how
new.
How many do you think they want you to find before hiding your first one, Jesse?
It seems low, but I'm going to say 10.
Okay. John, what's your guess? Closest will win. No, it doesn't matter if you're over.
Okay, this one I'm trying to remember because I know sometimes, and first I'm going to say what I think it should be. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. 100.
I actually, that's what I think it should be. I think it should be 100, but I don't think it's actually that high. Oh man, what did Jesse say again?
I said 10.
You said 10.
Yeah, this isn't Price is Right. We're not doing like 10 and a penny.
Whoa. Why would you think I would do that to you? Why would you think I would do that? Okay, I was going to do that to you.
Quickly.
I was going to be like 11, but I will guess 25.
You are closest. The answer is 20. So John with the first point.
Okay.
All right.
What kind of next random arbitrary crap is 20? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. To me, that one is weird.
We get to discuss these because here's the issue with this. 20 caches doesn't make you any kind of geocaching expert.
Yeah.
And if you're finding the closest 20 to your house, you're probably finding crap anyway. Mm-hmm. But it's not going to help you any.
20 doesn't seem to be right.
And it says encourage. It doesn't say you have to.
No. I agree that most people said, some people said 50, some people said 100.
So what if you go to like a rest stop and find 100 Adventure Labs? Does that help you hide cache?
K-Blast says 4 Adventure Labs. Oh, yeah. That's going to get you. Oh, Gina has a good idea. Gina says you need to find one of each cache type.
I like that. I think
anyway, as a cacher, you should do that anyway.
But I think though, what she's saying though, maybe what she's saying, but what I think would be cool is you have to find so many of that cache type before you can hide that cache type. So if people found like
perfect sense.
50 to 100 traditionals and they're thinking like, I want to do a Where I Go. Well, you should find a Where I Go first.
Yes.
Find out how it's actually done before you put it out there. And I won't say on this topic too much, but like we have some newer caches in my area. Very cool. Very excited on that one. But like newer caches, they're still learning that game. And, there's a few where I'm like, I think I'm going to let somebody else have the first to find honors on this.
Yeah.
While they kind of, work with the cacher and kind of let them know how things should work,
Right. Brian, be careful. I know I saw that. Who would hide a wig?
Yeah, and here's the problem. You may not have 20 Where I Goes in your county,
No.
So you're stuck hiding all the crappy cache types and can't get to Where I Goes. So
and I want to comment on Andrews. It's like, dude, you're an anomaly. You're not like regular caches.
Yeah, and here's the problem. The people that are on this show, most of them are that top 5%, right? These are the people that are active, that are moving caches, they're doing that. So we're talking about for the general public. For the general public, it's a good. People in here have caches that have like 1,000 favorite points on them. This probably doesn't apply to you guys. So
right.
I'm talking about the general public who like the 12-year-old that just picked up the phone and goes, "Oh, let's download this app. It's free."
Yep. All right. Next question. I started with Jesse. Go over to John for the first for that. And the question is, can you dig a hole?
Oh man.
Yes or no?
Okay.
Yes or no?
I'm gonna say it is yes if you have permission. So, but
So you're saying yes.
for hiding, because on this one, I actually at one point wanted to create a cache. I was thinking it would be like a sandbox at a playground,
Oh,
and
that'd be kind of cool.
you would actually like go and you would find it in a sandbox, and then you could bury it, but you would have to get permission to bury it. But then technically, I think it's against the rules from what I remember, because I think you can't require a cacher to actually dig for a cache, technically.
Correct.
So it could technically be against the rules.
Point for John.
Yes or no?
The answer is yes. The only exception is if a property owner gives explicit permission to create a hole. You can't bury the cache, but you can put it in the hole if you are given permission, which you must provide to the reviewer and state on the cache page. A cache cannot require the finder to dig to reach the cache. All right, over to Jesse.
That was just in there. That's the WV Tim rule. They just put that in there so WV Tim can put it as
pretty much. All right, here's the next one. Geocaching is more fun when caches are available to find. To help improve
true.
That's not the answer.
No, you paused. That's true.
To help improve the overall caching experience, Geocaching HQ created an algorithm to calculate this for each geocache. A low one of these provides an indication that the cache may need attention from the owner. Our goal is to improve the overall geocaching experience and avoid frowny faces due to missing or broken caches. What is it?
I'd say health score, and I would say this is the longest question I've ever encountered. But go ahead.
You are correct. There's more than that, but you are correct. The correct answer is health score. Point for Jesse.
Woo!
Oh man.
Over to John.
Well, go chat room. The chat room. A lot of people have gotten this one too. So man, good job to them.
Okay. This one is also, you get first. We're going back and forth. You get the first shot at it, and then Jesse will have a chance to steal.
I got to redeem myself here. I'm losing. It's not
community. Good. There's a lot of questions. Community celebration event requirements.
Oof. Okay.
Are that it must last at least how many hours or hour? How many hours or hour or minutes?
This is a good one, because I remember going to our first community celebration event, and the person didn't reserve the gazebo. We went there. Somebody else reserved it, so we had to move slightly off to the side, and I can't remember. We were there, like we had to be there. I think the person told me, oh man, it wasn't just 1 hour. Maybe was it like 3 hours? Maybe.
Jesse, it is incorrect. Jesse, you want to steal?
2.
2 hours is correct. We're back tied.
Okay. And now note to myself, if I'm giving an answer that could be wrong and I see Jesse nodding.
Hey, it worked. I tried. It only worked once.
I was like, I must have gotten it. Jesse's nodding. Wrong.
They have to be 2 hours.
Okay.
Interesting, isn't it? Community celebration event has to be at least 2 hours. Okay. Yeah. All right, Jesse, the question's to you. The hike is less than 2 miles, 3 kilometers, along well-defined paths with no significant elevation change or overgrowth. It is a terrain
2.
What? 2 is correct. Jesse surges into the lead.
Oof.
Over to John.
Okay.
A somewhat challenging puzzle or hiding spot is a difficulty.
Okay. Now people know me. I'm into puzzles, and
a somewhat challenging puzzle or hiding spot is a difficulty what?
I'm gonna guess on this one. I'm gonna guess because it can't be 1. It can't be 4. Could be 2. I'm gonna guess 3.
You are correct. It is 3. Good job. All right, we're tied.
The audience is killing it. They know them way before we do.
That's good. Over to Jesse.
Uh-oh.
In the hints section of the geocache. If you enter text in this, that text will not be encrypted.
Oh, brackets.
More specifically, please.
The fucking excuse me. The square things. beat that out. The square things.
Yes. Square brackets is correct, Jesse. I need you to. It's not just brackets. There's plenty of different types of brackets. Square brackets.
Oh, come on. Okay. Brackets are square.
Square brackets. You are correct. All right. Over to you, Jess. Over to you, John.
Straight brackets.
This is designed to orient new players to the ethos of geocaching and guide experienced players in questionable situations. So everyone can enjoy the game. It is managed by the geocaching community without direction from Geocaching HQ. What is this?
I'm confused.
Yeah, I was going to say my disclaimer for tonight, if I don't do good, is I did not have pizza today.
Okay.
I made the mistake of having Taco Bell beforehand, so I know Jesse loves Taco Bell. I know, yeah. But man, if it was pizza grease, that would grease my gear. I think.
I'll read it again. It is designed to orient new players to the ethos of geocaching and guide experienced players in questionable situations so everyone can enjoy the game. It is managed by the geocaching community without direction from Geocaching HQ. What is this?
Oh, it's the what is it called? It's called like is it the Geocaching Creed? Geocaching
You are
Creed?
correct.
Okay.
Good job, John.
Oh man. Okay.
The Geocaching Creed.
Yeah. Oh man.
Correct.
And big shout out to Lori on here for finishing a Greek pizza from last night.
Nice.
Lori, please send some pizza powers my way. I think I'm feeling a little weak tonight, so if you can do that.
Geocaching Creed. All right.
Is that in the guidelines?
It is.
Is it?
It's in there. In the guidelines.
I realized the Creed was referencing the guidelines.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah, I gotta go back and reread these.
Closest to the right answer gets the point, but we're Jesse. You get first guess. September 2nd, 2000. At that time of the geocaching world, there were X number of known geocaches in the world. How many were known at that time?
306.
Okay. John, what's your guess?
I don't think it was that many.
I don't either.
I can't price this right, Jesse.
Yes, 306.
It's just my guess.
I don't think so.
Popped in my head. Oh, in September. Oh my gosh, that's not right. There's no way that's right.
Yeah,
September 2nd of 2000.
That's only a few months after it started.
Okay.
I'm
going to go with what answer was in my head. I'm seeing stuff in the chat room, but I'm going to say I thought it was like 125 or something.
It's not bad, and I'm surprised that the folks in the chat room are that quick in answering, but the answer is 75.
Oh my gosh.
Man, go chat room.
John has 5 points. Jesse has 4.
Oh, 4? I thought I had more than that. What?
Nope, you have 4. John has 5. All
right,
John,
to go to the tape. I thought I had an extra point, but go ahead.
You get to guess first.
Do the replay.
Here we go. You ready? In a GeoArt, letterbox hybrids and where I go caches, their final should not be more than how many miles or mile from their posted coordinates?
2 miles.
John gets to go first.
John went first last time.
No, he didn't. You did. You guessed 306.
No, he got the point.
He stole it.
Yeah,
you can steal this one if John misses it.
I got to go with 2. I got to go with 2 on this
2
one.
2 is correct. All right.
I thought it was my turn to go first.
No, it wasn't your turn to go first. Now is your turn to go first. Are you ready?
I don't want to go first on this one.
You get to go first on this one.
No thanks. Pass.
Any cache type can be used to create GeoArt. However, in addition to the regular guidelines, some restrictions do apply. True or false?
True.
Correct. John, multi-caches that consist of a virtual waypoint and a projection will generally not be published when used for GeoArt. True or false?
I think that's true, right?
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
I know that for a fact.
You tried it?
Yeah, I tried it.
Yeah.
Jesse, it is
There's a rule in here. I've tried to break it. Trust me.
Oh man.
Jesse, it is a quote good idea to include instructions for finders in each of your geocaches. True or false?
True.
You are correct.
How many of us do it?
You're only a point behind. You're at 6. John's at 7.
Well, he stole my answer too, but go ahead.
Hey. I consider that sharing amongst friends there, Jesse.
Sharing
John.
Yeah.
John, only one event listing during a camping event is publishable. True or false?
You know, this sounds true. I think somebody who organized nearby EXP Geocache, I think they told me this was true. So I'll go with true.
You are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse.
Even if it's multiple days, it's still just one event.
One event is the only one that can be publishable.
Technically
right,
not true. You can also do a CETO, but go ahead.
Yeah. Over to you, Jesse. True or false? Bonus cache clues can be placed in another bonus geocache. True or false?
False. You can't daisy chain.
You are correct. It is false.
They will also bust you for daisy chaining. I know this for a fact too. I tried to break that rule as well.
This next section has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Has 10 possible answers. Every one of them that you can name, you'll get a point for. Okay. There are 10 guidelines for what I'm about to tell you. I'm going to give you the topic, and you tell me one of the guidelines. Okay, and we're going to start with John. John, give me a guideline, just the topic, the title for it. You don't have to go into detail about it, but give me a guideline for a geocache location.
Okay. We mentioned burying earlier, so I'm going to say do not bury unless you have permission.
Okay, that's one of the 10. Okay. You're correct. Point for you, Jesse.
I think it'll be separate, but I'm saying you have to get permission.
Permission is one of the answers. You are correct. Point for you, John. Back to you.
Okay, I'm going to do big shout out to Diana Fisher on this one. Diana actually did her dissertation for her PhD on geocaching and the effects on the environment.
Okay.
And it was one that you can't harm the environment, including animals and plants on that one.
You are correct. Yeah. Point for you. Over to Jesse.
I've got one, and Unimogers just said it too, but not near railroad tracks.
That's
one of the restrictions. Does that count?
It is, but it's not one of the guidelines listed. So
dirty. Lame.
Wait, it is. Well, I'll give it to you. It's in a more general
or playgrounds or whatever.
Yeah, it's in a more the answer is to stay away from restricted areas. So we'll give you the point for that because those are more detailed. But yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So be more general.
John. Yep. What else do we need to do?
I'm going to go with, I think, a pretty obvious one, right? You're hiding a cache. Is there any other nearby caches close to it? So you got to make sure it meets that. Well, it's not within the distance of another. So it has to be outside the distance. Yeah.
Yep. Check for minimum distance. You are correct. Over to you, Jesse.
It must contain a log.
It's not listed in the guidelines. You are correct, but it's not listed as one of the major guidelines. So over to John. Y'all covered a bunch. Let's see. You've got one.
How many do you have left?
Yeah.
You got 1, 2, 3. three. One of them's bogus, but four. I think all down to four left.
Did we because we talked about restricted areas.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk about like what is it? It's obeying laws or like local laws or
Correct.
or something like that. Okay.
Obey local
laws.
Point for you. Over you, Jesse. We've got a few left. Couple, once y'all kind of run out, I'll
I don't know
let
what's
you.
going to be in here or not, but I would say, does it cover? Don't put any items in there that are food or any dangerous items. Anything not appropriate for kids.
It does, but not in the location section. The geocaching
Say
location
section.
It's in the hiding part of it.
Is this supposed to be only location based?
Yeah, this is the location section of the guidelines.
Oh,
I'll let you try again.
I didn't remember
geocache location.
Oh, okay. I thought you just said hiding guidelines. Okay.
No, geocache location. Sorry.
Locations. It should be accessible without a fee, maybe?
Correct.
Okay. I didn't realize we're doing just locations.
No, you're fine. You're only 2 points behind, so you're right in there with it. There's a couple left. There's technically 3 left, but so there's 3 possibles left.
Okay.
I'm not watching the chat room. I should be, just for fun.
I'm thinking on this one because we talked about laws, restricted property, damaging the environment. On there too, was there also one that was don't damage property in general, or?
Correct.
There was. Okay.
Oh.
Do not damage property.
I know. I can't remember. I was just trying to think. I'm is that the last legal one?
Yep.
One
of them is completely bogus, and the other one is.
I can only say open and accessible to the general public.
That's correct.
Okay.
So point for you. There's one there, and I'm not even gonna. We're gonna move on because the last one, you can explore outer space.
Oh, that's the okay.
As a geocaching location.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
No.
All right. I think
our chat room would beat us on this. I think they're killing us.
Yeah, they've been doing pretty awesome on here.
They're doing well.
I'm wondering how many. So people telling themselves, how many of these have you gotten right, guys?
Yeah, so far. The point score right now is John has 13, Jesse has 11, so they're neck and neck.
Now, even if this is a rule, they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a reviewer for outer space?
I don't think they do. I think anybody can review it. Ryan's in the chat room. He could probably tell you.
And if I claim to do one, how are they going to know that I did it or not?
Right. How is anybody going to find it or
what about a lab cache? Can I publish one on the moon?
I think they threw it out there, and I don't
think
it
says it's legal, right?
Yeah.
How do you do that with no GPS coordinates, though?
I know. I think it was more of a joke.
I'm push one in. I'm putting it in.
All right,
I'm focusing my lab caches on the moons, guys.
Yeah,
you go for it, buddy.
Why not? I mean, the whole space tourism thing's going to take off any day now.
Yeah.
Any decade now, it's going to take off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. But,
it's in the rules.
It is in the guidelines. There are no rules. But I know what you meant. All right. Jesse, you get to start the next section. And you should be pretty good at this because you're a connoisseur of events. So we're going to get into the events section of the guidelines. These are all true or false. True or false? An event cache must take place at the posted coordinates.
True.
You are correct.
That would be a cool one, though, if you couldn't. If you could make a puzzle and just saying, hey, if you solve the puzzle,
the answer is
then find out where it's taking place.
Trust me, I've already tried.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
I tried that one as well. You can't also do a puzzle to get in the building either.
No, which we thought about. It'd be funny to create a 5-5 event where you had to literally figure out how to open the lock. When you open the lock, then it literally then would let you into where the event was taking place, but you couldn't get in unless you solve the puzzle. And
Hey, I have published a 5-5 event in the past. So
back
Yeah.
in the day,
yeah, back in the day when they didn't care.
before
Could
they
you
took it
imagine
away.
if you did a red herring in a puzzle that gave you the
Oh
coordinates of
yeah,
a bank, and then you said for the bank you have to pick the lock to get in?
That's right. Just
No,
bust the window. It's okay.
I think
Yeah,
it'd be funny. And like all these people are partying and having a good time, and you come up to the fence and they're all like waving at you, going, "Hey, come on in. The water's fine." And you're like, "Well, I can't figure out the puzzle." Like,
yeah.
too bad.
I love. Okay, Jen just came up with a great one. Solve the puzzle
All right.
for a password speakeasy event.
Yeah, you could
Yes.
do.
They will
Yeah,
not
Be
let you do that,
awesome.
by the way.
they won't allow it. But I
But
love
you
it.
know, again, Bell on the move. They're more like guidelines anyway, right? So
More like guidelines.
Agreed.
yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean. All right.
Suggestions.
Next one, John. In event cache, it must include a start and end time. True or false?
True. I've never seen an event that didn't have a start and end time.
And end time?
Yeah,
You are correct, by the way. Next one, Jesse. It must last at least an hour. True or false?
What type of event?
Just a generic event.
Then no.
You are
30
correct.
minutes. Yeah.
That's false. 30 minutes is correct. Over to John. It cannot be set up for the sole purpose of finding geocaches. True or false?
yeah. I got to say this is true. I know Jesse was trying to tell me it was false, but I know one event I wanted to do one time was like thinking about like, you know, going on a trail, hiking, finding caches on that side. But yeah,
You
can't.
can set it up, but not for the sole purpose
I
of
know.
finding a
That has to
geocache.
be a side thing.
Which
yeah.
is actually odd because it is a geocache.
Right.
And the
Right.
purpose of that is to to log that cache. So
The sole purpose is to find the event.
it is a geocache that you log. So
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
kind of worded weird.
Yeah.
All right. Jesse, over to you for the next one. You cannot add your event to an existing non-geocaching event such as meetups, concerts, fairs, sporting events, but you can add it to a scouting event. True or false?
true.
It is false. Incorrect.
You added that last part in, which is bogus.
I
Scouting.
did. I threw
First
in the
part is
scouting
true.
event,
Yeah.
but the scouting event threw it because people are like, "Oh, scouting."
Yeah. Did you change that halfway through the question?
No, I didn't change it.
You a lie. You lying already.
I still asked you the question.
I want to see the paper. That was not on your paper.
Oh
is.
man.
I'll show it to
Gary-
you.
I don't
Gary
believe
did
it.
an
I don't
audible.
believe it. He's stacking this against me, John.
Oh man. Maybe Chat GC whispered in his ear. Who knows?
No.
It says right. What? Sorry, I gotta go back. It shows right there. Cannot. Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Whatever.
All
Yeah.
right.
It was
Next
true
one.
up until that point.
Sneaky. No, it was there. It was sneaky. You're right. All right.
I see how it's going to be.
I'll give you another one, Jesse, just for that. You cannot require attendees to register at a separate registration page. True or false?
See, this could be tricky too because on all the mega events we do that. We don't require it though.
You cannot require attendees to register at a separate registration page. True or false?
I'm going to say true, even though it's a regular practice to do it.
Incorrect. It is false. You can require it.
So is this saying
Hold
though?
on. So they can't get in if they don't register?
In the guidelines,
Um,
it's rigged. It's not rigged.
Yeah, I'm calling
There's
bogus on
nothing
that
rigged
one.
about this.
So you're telling me that if somebody doesn't sign up at a registration page, they cannot attend an event?
That's what it says in the guidelines that
Like,
you
they
can
would be turned away.
require. You
Looks
can
like we need to go
require.
back to some past events and delete some logs then.
I guess you can require attendees to register at a separate registration page. That is it's in the guidelines.
Yeah,
I know
you're
I
saying-
don't believe that.
You're saying separate non-geocaching.com. That's what you're
It just
saying, right?
says in the rules that you can require attendees to register at a separate registration page. That is a true statement. I changed it to cannot require, and Jesse missed it.
Yeah.
On to the next person.
I'm calling bogus on that one. Outside of this game, so that means that like at a mega event, if they don't register ahead of time, we can turn them away at the door.
I'm not telling you it's the right answer. I'm not telling you it's.
I know. I'm just saying HQ's wrong.
HQ is wrong. Okay, I want to make sure. I'm not the one. I'm not.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying HQ's wrong.
Yeah.
There's no way you can't require people to, if they did, megas would actually run right because it'd be like selling tickets to a concert. 400 people RSVP and 800 people show up and then complain about long lines. That's the whole problem with megas in the first place. Then okay, all right. I'm calling somebody.
Yeah, I gotta agree. That just seems odd.
Unimogger's Geocacher says, yes, that's false because Broward County requires a sign-up sheet in order to participate in a CITO.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but if it's true, that means you can turn people away at a mega that just didn't register.
I agree. I think it's crazy. But it's in the guidelines.
I smell something fishy in Denmark or whatever they say.
Maybe this is Florida rules. I mean, God bless Broward County. I miss Broward County. Used to frequent Broward County and look forward to going back sometime.
HQ made you sign up to visit HQ made you to sign up to visit HQ during the anniversary event.
They make you sign up to visit HQ anytime.
That's true. HQ is a little different, but that was an event.
Okay, let's move on.
All right.
The rules are bogus. Move on.
Make sure and look it up. I know. I agree.
I'm going to have a sign up to my next event, and I'm going to kick people out of the coffee shop. Watch.
That's perfect.
Oh, God.
I'm going to delete everybody's log.
All right, John, you get first shot at this.
Okay.
In geocaching, the word legacy refers to something that is allowed to remain active based on a rule or guideline that has since changed or no longer exists. There are only 3 legacy cache types listed. Give me one of them.
Virtual.
Virtual is correct. Over to Jesse. What is one of the 3 legacy cache types?
I'm going to say webcam.
Webcam is correct. One more. Over to John.
Locationless.
Locationless is correct. Those are the 3. And there are only 3, by the way.
What about the lost and found?
No, those are not. It's not listed.
Did they bring that back out?
It's not considered a legacy.
Attribute on that one.
Okay, what about Ape Cache?
Not listed as legacy. It's not listed as legacy. It probably is legacy. You can't hide it. You can't. There's several that you can't hide, but they're not listed in the geocaching guidelines as legacy.
So I think we found that the guidelines need to be updated.
I agree.
Cave Blast agrees with me. Look, Ape Cache.
Ape? Yeah, Ape's not listed.
Legacy cache by their definition.
It's not listed in the guidelines. There's only 3.
It doesn't count if they magically bring it back out and unarchive it. Is that what we're doing? Okay.
I guess. I don't know. Webcam, virtual, locationless. There are 3 that are listed.
Was that just examples of them, or that says that's the only ones?
It says those are the 3. I'm just saying.
I mean, in virtual, that's kind of suspicious anyway, because you still can publish those.
Yeah, what's odd is that virtual shouldn't be on that list because I get awarded I was awarded a virtual not too long ago, and I published it, and nobody said anything.
Well, but Gary, you probably got one of the last virtuals they'll ever give, since now it's Adventure Lab focused.
I'm sure they'll do it again.
Yeah, I don't know how 8 cache is not a legacy cache anyway.
It's not listed, and they're telling them to quit monkeying around. And it's not rigged. There's nothing to rig. I'm just giving you the answer.
Gary's got it rigged. Probably got those. That's like from when he started. That's rules from when he started.
Oh my gosh.
He printed them out with his GPS.
Rigged. Okay, over to who? John.
I got the
Jesse.
last one, so it's Jesse.
All right, Jesse.
That's okay. Go ahead.
There are 6 types of waypoints. Give me one of them. One of 6. Parking is correct.
I should have gone with the one that I know John's going to start with.
You're only 2 back. Over to you.
Let's see if you know the one I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with because it's parking, but I think you also have trailheads, correct?
Trailheads is correct.
How would you not start with that? It's literally your job.
Yeah, there you go.
Correct. Over to Jesse.
I'm going to say final location.
Final location is a waypoint. You are correct. You're only a couple behind, so you're doing good. Over to John.
Rigged, but go ahead.
Oh man, I got to go with virtual stage.
Virtual stage is correct.
Mm.
Over to Jesse.
How about point of interest?
Not listed as a waypoint.
I thought that was one of them.
Wait.
No. Isn't it? It's not point of interest. It's
I'll give you that one.
What does it say?
Reference point.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's like point of interest. I mean, you see something, you're like, use that as like a navigation point or something.
Okay,
so.
that's all of them. Physical stages, virtual stages, parking areas, reference points, trailheads, final location.
What about the posted location? Does that not count?
It doesn't. It lists it as just a physical. It falls into the physical stage or the virtual stage. Parking areas, reference points, trailheads.
So virtual stage and posting location is the same. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Final tally. As I yell at the clouds. Why were you yelling at the clouds? What happened? Oh, before every kid had a barefooted camera in their pocket.
Yeah.
That's funny. Like Jen, my job is trail. That was funny.
John's actual literal job is like trailheads and making trails.
Well. One of my
all the other stuff is just extra.
Oh God!
But the important part of your job is that you make new trails.
Let's see.
There's the final tally. Woo-hoo. John with 19.
That was the final question.
Jesse with that's it. I'm done. I'm done with you people.
This thing was so rigged.
Rigged.
All right. Y'all, let's vote on how rigged this was. Come on.
My vote is not rigged. Just saying.
Right, because you won.
Right. Well,
I mean, if there was...
I won, and Jesse suggestively gave me... He was reassuring my wrong answer while I was thinking about it. So
come on, let's be honest here. If it was a question with even number answers, it started with me. Odd number answers started with John. That seems rigged to me. It always ends up with John. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Roll that beautiful bean footage. We can roll back and see the tape. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Oh my.
Oh man.
Scam.
Did any of these surprise you or
did anybody get them all right?
Yeah, that's a good question.
If so, you're doing too much time on the computer. You need to be out geocaching. Stop reading the rules. Go out there and play.
You know, somebody, I'm just saying this, somebody should do an adventure lab called Know the Guidelines.
Ooh.
How would you could do open-ended questions.
Yeah.
I did one like that was, you remember the Intercache from years ago?
Oh, yeah.
I did one like that. It stayed out there for a while, too. They let it publish as a multi, too, and it was totally virtual, the whole thing.
Wow.
But whatever.
I want to find the actual page since we're I'm going to look up the requiring attendees to register because that is bizarre. In case you're wondering where to find, because it's a little tricky to figure out where the guidelines are even listed. So
they are hard.
Just to let people know, you go to the main geocaching page, go to play, go to hide a geocache. And the guidelines are under that. You would think you would put it on the main page. Just that's my opinion of where it should be.
It's still called the knowledge book, right?
It is now called Help Center.
Oh, Help Center.
Yeah.
Is that the same as the knowledge book?
I think it's all in there now.
Okay. It used to be two different sections, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like it's not a straightforward book. Like you click on them and it gives you more, and it's hard to read them.
I think like I just remember when I was like looking at all of these, like going to events, and that was like questions I had for people. It was just like, okay, here's what it says in the guidelines. Like, how do you do this? You know?
Well, the hard part about the guidelines, because I like to like read the rules and memorize. I'm just one of those people, right? The more you know about the rules of your game, the more you can wiggle room you have.
Absolutely.
One thing is the rules are huge in geocaching in general, right? The rules, there's so many pages and pages of rules. But
Yeah.
the other problem is they change, which is okay, except for it's hard to keep up with the changes because the only place I believe they're announced is in like the forums. That's the only place you can really keep up with the new changes. And who wants to go to the forums?
Nobody.
Nobody
Yeah,
wants.
true.
If I want to flame more, I just go on Facebook or whatever else. I don't need all that.
Yes.
So it's hard to keep up with the most current rules. Now, somebody may have a better solution to that than I do, but I used to really try to keep up with the most current rules, and I was kind of proud of that. And it just got to where it's hard to do because they change. The rules have changed a lot over the years. I mean, not big changes, but little changes, right? Whether you can bury one, whether you can't, how long they expect to keep a cache out there changed. And I know it was forever at one point, and then they said a year, and then one time it was 6 months, and I think it's 3 months now, right?
Yeah.
It's changed a bunch, so it's hard to I like to read the rules, but it's hard to keep up with any changes.
Are you saying, Jesse, what they should do is make it on every sort of geocaching app, if it's Cachely or geocaching, like on occasion it like just pops up and you have to take a quiz, and if you fail, you can't use the app. You can't go find a geocache.
You're locked out for like 10 days.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Could you imagine it? Like,
How about this one?
That's a lie.
A webcam can only be logged with an image taken directly from the associated webcam feed.
We all know that's a lie. You know what? If the owner was still around, maybe they could delete the logs, but they're not.
Yeah.
The owners of most of those webcams are gone. Come on now.
That's why it's, I guess, legacy, right?
So that means we can log the ape caching anyway, since it's not a legacy?
There are some crazy, and the one that gets me the most is these, some of these things that are in the hiding portion is always fascinating to me. So do not harm plants, animals, or environment. So we all know you can't nail your geocache to a tree.
That harming a tree?
There are exceptions.
That's not harming a tree, first of all, but that's a whole nother show.
Right, that's for another show because it doesn't harm
a tree grow around a bicycle.
Yeah, it doesn't harm a tree.
Nail is not killing that tree.
But I can kind of see that HQ doesn't want to get in the middle of that for many reasons. But
I get it. They got to be protected. They got to protect themselves and everything else. I understand it.
The only exception is, and this is basically the rule across the board, which is if a property owner gives explicit permission to attach a cache to a tree with hardware, for example, with nails. In this case, you must provide the explicit permission to the reviewer and state it on the cache page.
Well, and I don't know about you guys. I just got to call out like every single night cache, fire tax, right in a tree, right?
Oh, that's nailing a tree.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a night cache where it hasn't been like nailed into a tree or something like that.
When's the last time you saw a night cache with fire tags published?
Oh boy, that's rare.
Not an old one. When's the last time you saw one?
You know, there's I got to check it out. There's a new night cache not too far away from me, and I'm just kind of waiting until it gets like darker, a little bit earlier, a little cooler,
right,
to go out and do it. And I don't know, but I mean, it just seems like, like, have you seen a night cache done any way other than like attack into trees?
There I go.
I've seen them. Okay, I've seen a stage of a multi. And it was done with some sort of rope thing, but it was loose, so it allowed for the tree to grow if needed. But I don't think that's even really legit because it was a small, like, wire, and it was put around the tree completely. It would just hang on the tree. So, I mean, in a sense, they didn't attach it to the tree, but I mean, 50 years from now, that poor tree is going to be choked off at that point, probably, maybe. I don't know, 50 years, maybe more than that.
Yeah, you can. Where has a time function in it, so you can make it where it only works at night. So I've done a couple of those.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. I mean, people can cheat it. Obviously, there's ways to cheat it, but I mean that's a good way to do it without having to attach any fire tags to the tree.
With permission, geocachers may place caches in space, either on other planets or on a spacecraft. It's literally in the. Obviously, they threw it in there just because of the Mars rover and stuff like that.
So, if you built your own rocket, like a science experiment,
yes,
you could call that a geocache and put it up, and they'd publish it.
Should be able to, but it's going to have to be where it has to be found. It has to be findable. That's one of the must be accessible. You can't bury it.
Accessible?
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
I'd say, Jesse, you're in the right state to try this out, man. Being down
get permission
on that one.
Yeah,
get permission for that.
Just throw one on SpaceX. I mean, call Elon up real quick,
Elon.
and we'll see if I can throw one on one of the SpaceX launches.
I'm sure he'd do you a solid on that one. Help you.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, he's got time for that.
Yeah.
Get permission. If you have permission to place a geocache on private property, indicate this on the cache page for the benefit of the reviewer and those seeking the cache. A community volunteer may ask you to provide contact information of the person giving permission.
Wouldn't that be funny if they actually started doing that?
Actually checking, like literally.
Yeah, actually said, okay, who'd you get permission from? Walmart.
Walmart. And we're coming to the end tonight, but the other ones we talked about a little bit earlier was stay away from restricted areas, and y'all mentioned a few of those. Yeah. Examples are, this is interesting because we need to mention, and I need to put it in the show notes. You guys, we had a whole show on it, but do you guys ever get out there and look at the wiki pages, because that's where a lot of good information on your local.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, it really is a great resource. Let me find I know that Ryan's in the group. He could probably tell you.
And I see one on here, no pizza and caches. I'd like to comment my understanding from past experiences, unless the cache owner has an epic cache, such as Infernal Device, and provides permission because somebody termed him.
Cache? You can have pizza in an event cache.
Oh yes, you can. I've been to many events at pizza places. Always a good time.
Yeah, you actually got explicit. You found a pizza in a geocache. It was in the cache.
Yeah,
food was in the cache.
Well, with owner's permission, and then with one of the owners offering to warm it up in their home oven if I wanted it. I was
willing to,
how incredible is that?
And for him and for K-Blast to say no pizza and caches, he put it in the cache. That's him.
Right.
He's the one that did it.
True.
Now, I think the guidelines, we all play the game a lot. I think the guidelines are important, but it's hard to keep up with the guidelines. It really is, right? Even for the most conscientious cacher, it's hard to keep up with it. It's fun to kind of jump in there every once in a while and do it. And there's guidelines, and then there's Brian took the words out of my mouth. And there's regional geocaching policies, right? Because really there's the official, if you want to think about them as rules, and then there's the interpretation locally, right? Because it doesn't matter what you think the interpretation is, the reviewers are kind of translating those for your area.
And that's why the wiki pages are so important, because we've talked before when we've talked about that, the regional guideline part of it is that in general, you would think you could hide in any public park, but there are some of the regional guidelines for certain, Georgia, for example, there are specific parks that have been banned. No geocaching is allowed in these particular parks. I don't know if New York's like that too, but there's that's in the wiki pages, like Ryan said. So
another good example is cemeteries. That's very different state to state, right?
Every state's different. Texas
it's
allowed
in every state, but it's allowed in some states.
Yeah, Texas allows it. I've talked to people before, and I'm like, "What you up to?" It's like, I'm going to check on one of my hides in the cemetery. They're like, "You can't hide in cemeteries." And like, "You can in Texas."
Yeah, some places you can.
With permission.
Well,
Just talk to the caretaker of the cemetery, and they'll let you do it.
And I
But
think from what
other
you're
states,
saying, Gary, I mean, that's even like different state style, where like New York has so much public
yeah,
property, so much public lands,
Mm-hmm.
so much state forests, all these areas. But
yeah. Kind
some
of
states
mentioned
aren't like
Colorado.
that and have so much private property for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
in Colorado you can. She's
that's the
right.
other weird. That's the other weird thing is
Series,
that
what's the series called? Maybe she knows. What is this? There's a series in Colorado of
mm,
caches just in cemeteries.
oh, real okay.
And I forget the name of it. I can't think of it right now.
Yeah, lots of cemetery hides in California.
Um,
Um,
but it's in Colorado. It's called the. Oh my gosh, it's a famous series in Colorado. Because there used to be challenges for it. There's not anymore because obviously you can't do that anyway. But
yeah,
oh my gosh, I can't think of it.
it depends. It really depends, and it is good. Like everyone who's gonna
Yes, that's called
who's gonna
Spirit
caches. Okay, cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, Jane said that
Quest.
too.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yep.
Jane.
Yep. Yeah, Eminem from M is correct. It's against state law in some states to hide. So you need to know. You got to go to not only do you know, not only if you haven't hidden in a certain state before, if you're new to the sport, go to the wiki page for Texas or for whatever state you live in, and read the rules there, because those rules, they don't supersede the geocaching.com ones, but they are more specific about what you can do or can't do. They're very regional. Or
what would be cool is if somebody was able, and we have like super smart techie people in this game, right? If somebody was able to make like a quiz game or something like that,
sure,
based on the rules that change as they update the rules, right? Like it was tied into it, like an API type deal. That could even be something that's in the geocaching app or whatever else, but you could just, hey, I want to take a quiz and you can get points based on it or whatever. That would be like, they could even do a badge based on it. That would be awesome to get people really, really get into the rules then.
I love that. And I mean, just to think then if people had to get that badge in order to become a hider, on that one.
Well, we all go through, well, not everybody. Let me take that back. Many of us have to go through and take required educational training for our job to continue working at the location that you go to. You have to pass tests every year for, whatever it happens to be, how to interact with your employees at work, or for us at where I work, since it's a lot of sales type of items, it's like, we can't accept gifts over a certain amount of money. It's like there's a whole litany of things. It seemed like every year, certification. So it seemed like every year,
that, we'd be doing it. If they came out with a badge that you had to get, like levels of badges that you had to get by taking quizzes and tests, 100% that probably everybody in this chat room and us, we'd be racing to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Especially make sure your profile, like certified, knowledgeable, whatever,
And Charles is right. We all need these
CEUs.
Yeah. I think that should be required to keep your status as
and you have to do it like you have to keep it certified once a year. You have to keep doing it.
Yeah, once a year you gotta go take the test and go through the whole thing.
And I like this, and I got to add something on here just so I don't forget. With working on trails, it's always such a thing that's a very interesting situation, because sometimes you have trails you assume that the trail organization owns the trail. At times they may not actually, in fact. So the trail that you're on may be owned by private property landowners. So if you're ever thinking about hiding caches out on trails, please feel free to reach out to those trail organizations because I know in our instance, sometimes we have handshake agreements with people who have that strong ownership of their land, and we actually have one where it's
easily.
Oh man, that would be funny. But part of that relationship is ensuring you're treating their land with their wishes.
Yeah.
And if people don't want geocaching on their land, we have a section where we list no geocaching, no treasure hunting.
Right.
Because we want to do that. So yeah, please don't hesitate to reach out to your trail organization or local people who help to manage public lands if you're ever curious on those. So that's my PSA. I just have to put that out.
There you go. There you go. I like it.
Public land we've talked about before, which is to me is always a little bit of unknown. Jesse, you ran into it more than probably of the three of us being in Colorado, but BLM land, I know we've had Charles on and to discuss it, but that to me, that is something that always I'm always lost as to Bureau of Land Management property. And like you said, Colorado is completely different. In Texas, everything's private property for the most part. I mean, it's crazy. You talk about it's listed as the friendly state. That's its Tejas, and it's got its nickname, but everything's got a fence around it. Not everything, but you get the idea. Unless you get out in West Texas, but you have to almost kind of know. For many of us, the easiest thing to do is obviously parks and cemeteries because they're so easy to get permission.
Yeah.
You can even just email the person that's there's at least in Texas, you can find the owner of the cemetery. Gosh, take you 5 minutes, you can find it. And a quick email or a quick phone. A lot of them have a phone number. You call them and you go, hey, there's no caches in this cemetery. Are you okay if I put them out there? And most of them are like, go for it. Do what do whatever. But to take 2 seconds, as Pathfinder says, 95% of Texas is private versus the wide open spaces of Utah or somewhere. I don't know. Because BLM land is the part that always kind of throws me for a loop.
Why you have to just go to the Venture Labs. Don't have to ask permission.
Oh
just
my!
Another reason why they could be the future.
I'm gonna do mine at the Pentagon. So just saying.
I give you the old man. There you go. All right, final thoughts as we wrap up tonight on guidelines. You guys did a great job. You actually did, regardless of the score. Both y'all are really good at that.
Yeah, and I got to give Jesse credit. He did get somewhere. I was like on that one. But I'll start out with final thoughts. So I think, one of the things, again, this is a very community-focused game on this one. We should help to educate and inform our community out there, as to the guidelines, those local regional things. I think a show like this really drives home, if you're a hider and if you're thinking about hiding a cache for the first time, please look at the guidelines, consider reaching out to reviewers if you have questions.
Yeah.
Certainly go to events, ask other hiders in your area that do good hides and numerous hides. How do they do it? What's their process they go through? But, for those that we're getting answers from newer cachers, please help them along the way too on that side. Because I think, it's one of those things like new cachers, it's a learning experience. And, even as exemplified through our discussion on here, it's like there's guidelines where we're like, really? That's a guideline?
Yeah.
And we're going through and we're trying to kind of roll through these ones too. So, I just think it's a community game and discussions like this are great. And better luck next time, Jesse.
Oh, dang.
I'm going to say, first of all, it was rigged. Second of all,
knew that was coming.
But, it is what it is. No, I think the guidelines are great. And we kind of joke about guidelines versus rules. And there's a reason they're guidelines, right? Because every one of these, there's an exception to it. That's just how it is, right? When you have a game with this many millions of people playing and all these locations and different states and countries and everything else, it's hard to keep up with. Even if you read the geocaching wiki and the rules and everything else, there's a reason we have reviewers to help us interpret the rules.
Yeah.
Right? We may not always like it, but there's a reason for it. I would suggest that everybody at least skim through the guidelines every once in a while. Absolutely. You can't memorize them all. It'd be like going to law school, right? There's so many things. By the time you read through it, it would change anyway. Yeah. But familiarize yourself some. It helps a lot. It helps you feel like you're more knowledgeable about the game. And but I mean, the thing is, you're not going to memorize them all. So lean on other cachers, more experienced cachers, reviewers. If you have a question, ask a reviewer.
Yep.
Their literal, volunteer job is to help interpret the rules, and they'll do it. They're good with it. They'll find answers. If they don't know them, they'll reach out to somebody. If you're confused on a rule, just reach out and ask. They'll do it. You don't have to just most reviewers, except for that one in Kansas. God, that guy's terrible. But
I tell you.
Other than that, yeah, that guy's terrible. But actually, I don't even know if he reviews Kansas or not. I don't know where he actually reviews.
I like K-Blast. Just ask Ryan. He has nothing better to
do. Reach out. And, I know it sounds silly, but I'm going to say it anyway. Just because you find a cache doesn't, you find a cache, you're like, oh, I want to do one just like this. It doesn't mean the rules haven't changed since then, right?
Exactly.
Yep. There's no, precedent set. Just because Mingo is under the ground doesn't mean you can put one under the ground, right?
Right.
You need to really, if you have a cool idea, the reviewers want to help you get that out.
Yes.
Reach out to them. Don't wait and surprise them and then get all cheesed off because they won't let you do it because the rule has changed. Reach out to them and say, you got something weird? Reach out to them and go, hey, I'm thinking about this and this location. Can you do a location check and tell me this? I'm on the right track. They will absolutely do it. So it's you're never going to memorize all the guidelines, but the guidelines are there to help you kind of have a general idea of what you can do. Reach out, ask for answers, and then go from there.
Yep. Perfect. So next week, yes, I'm on the road. I am completing Jasper next week.
It's going to be awesome.
My first loop is going to be completed next week, so I'm not available. The guys are going to do Sunday night. How, John, did you want them to send you anywhere in particular? Do you want to go?
Oh yeah,
email?
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll send out a link to a Google form. We'll get that out tomorrow. And the topic of next week's show is like a Dear Abby style format where it'll be Jesse and I. So we want to get people's questions before the show, or they can send them to the email too. But what, questions, what advice do they have, on that one? So feel free, if it's, you want us to help sort out those interesting relationships you have out with other cachers in your caching team. Jesse's going to be a great person to help with those questions. So, feel free to send those our way.
Perfect.
I'll make up the answers. Let's go.
Perfect. All right. Again, thanks everybody for playing along, and we will see you guys. See most of y'all on next Sunday as we go through the next show. So, all right. Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
May your finds be many, and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go